Kevin, how are you?
Hey, David, what's going on?
I'm doing great. The time flies by. It's already our third video we are working on right now. I see that you have your background change. What's going on?
Yeah, well, I'm thinking of moving to another part of the solar system, and so I'm just looking at some different options on my
Yeah, I'm still stuck in my SIA office, but someday we'll get the real office. So how do you like my small talk now? Am I getting better at this or what?
Yeah, I think you showed a little bit of curiosity about the background and brought up a little a light topic that was good.
So thank you for the couple sessions in the last few weeks.
Yeah.
And because of that, I think I've learned how to small talk and the importance of a small talk. And I've been using it in my meetings and it worked very well. However, last few meetings I went, I was trying to do a small talk and the example was about NBA basketball and I love basketball. And I brought it up to the topic and I thought a lot of Bay Area people love Golden State Warriors. And I brought up this topic, but it was quiet silence after small talk. It's like, and people just maybe not so into basketball or Warriors. Maybe then I could not, continue with my small talk. So I jumped straight into business talk right after I asked them about the Warriors.
How about this?
And I was like, nothing. Then okay, let's now start talking about the business. So that didn't work.
Go Warriors.
Yeah, that didn't work pretty well. So my question to you, right? Like, how do I come up with the small talk topics that can resonate with my partner so that you can, engage in a conversation?
Yeah, that's a great question. And it's one that people are curious about a lot of the time. The way to go, I think one way to go about this is, well, there's a couple things. First thing is a good way to start is with asking for a recommendation of some kind, because the thing that happened with your case with the Golden State Warriors with you is that you're a big Warriors fan, but if you happen to be in a group where people maybe they don't watch basketball, they don't know anything about it. It's just, But most people have recommendations of some kind. And if you keep it general enough, a restaurant or a new place to check out. So, the way to approach that is to think about a recommendation that you're going to ask for. And also I suggest something like this, like, don't just come flat out and ask for recommendation. Don't just say, does anybody have any restaurants and new restaurants that I can check out? That might not grab people. It's just so abstract. You also have not really engaged them emotionally. A lot of what this stuff rides on it's not really about the topic. It's about engaging something a little bit deeper. So the way to do it is start with a story. And I think it's helpful if you feed that story with some kind of, this is going to sound weird, but like a pain point. My partner and I, we've been stuck in the house because of our daughters hasn't been feeling well, and we're getting a little stir crazy. And it would be great if we could we're kind of tired of every place in our neighborhood. That's where usually we go. So it'd be really helpful. I would love to hear, a recommendation for a restaurant that you guys have tried. And it doesn't matter if it's like, we like all kinds of cuisine, so it doesn't matter. We're very open-minded.
I see some context. You're a couple, you have a kid. List of things I can recommend you. It's a little bit narrower. You share your pain points. I feel like I can just share something with you. I don't even know what standard you have. Sometimes I don't want to recommend because I don't want something that's not very tasty. You may say, oh, I tried it, I didn't like it, right? It sounds like you are more open to accept the recommendation. So I feel like I'm more willing to give you more recommendation. I feel that.
Yeah, and even if they don't say something like I said, like we're pretty open-minded, you could even ask. You could say, so what kind of food do you guys like? You could go with that. You could say something like, I've got places in mind, but what kind of food do you guys like? Or do you have any dietary restrictions? Preface it by saying something like, this isn't for everybody, but I'd like to recommend to you.
I like that because you could be starting a small talk as well, but you could also be in the recipient of a small talk. So when you are receiving it, instead of just straight up trying to give you a recommendation, you could also bounce back asking for like more information. Then you can actually have the more like a connection.
Exactly.
Then you can actually get into more like the list of the restaurants.
Very good. Yeah, because as talked about in the previous video, one of the principles of the small talk style is to show that curiosity.
Yeah, I think when people naturally show curiosity, it makes you want to talk more.
Tapping into some of those deeper human behaviors and desires, like wanting to help somebody. Like that's why the story, the pain point is important. The curiosity is important. It gets into this deeper level of human communication. So, and hopefully we'll get you out of that, because we get stuck. Like we think, I don't know what she likes. I don't know what kind of food to recommend. And then you get stuck in that thought process. But if you show the curiosity, then you're in engagement, right? You're not stuck in your thinking.
Starting with the pain points will trigger people's natural behavior of wanting to help others. It's kind of trendy term in a coaching industry that leaders should show vulnerability, right? I think, yeah, I think there's a lot of people talk about this these days. And opening up a conversation with I have a pain point kind of shows that I have a weak area, right? That I want to try to get your help on, makes people really open up the conversation, have that human connection.
Yeah, I was going to use that word vulnerability. Like what I was actually thinking what you just mentioned. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, thanks for today's lesson. So some of the keywords: vulnerability, starting with the story, pain points, asking for a recommendation, build a connection as a human, right? So I think next time when I do small talk, let me actually think about these keywords and use this practice, and I'll let you know how it works.
Yeah, let's do it. That sounds good, man.
Cool. All right. Thanks again for this week's conversation, and I will see you next week, Kevin.
Thanks a lot. And that SIA background looks great.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.